p.m. First thing on the agenda is to approve and sign the minutes from the October 19th meeting. Do I have a motion?
Sorry, calendar, on Apple Watch only goes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the 19th.
I'll second those.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next up, we have to approve and sign the non-public meeting minutes from October 19th. Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
I'll second those.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
And then last, we have to approve and sign the workshop minutes from October 29th. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
All right.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next up, we have discussion on to approve and sign the agreement for the operation of the maintenance of the town of Woodstock water system. This past Friday, we had a workshop with Dan from Pennachuck, who is also on the line with us this evening, the highway director, Mike Welch, and the town's engineer, Steve LaFrance, to review and discuss the proposed agreement for the operation and maintenance of the town Woodstock water system. Dan also had shared with us in that meeting new testing standards that will need to be addressed by the board in the coming months and year. That included some iron, copper, magnesium, leaded lines and whatnot. Manganese, excuse me. So at this point, we had decided back in some other meetings that prior to signing a contract that we would entertain any public comments as it regards to those agreements. So we'll open up public comments at this time if anybody has any.
How many year contract is it, Cheryl?
It is a 2-year.
3 year.
3 years, excuse me. It'll expire in 2024.
A couple of years ago, when I started questioning all this, you weren't on the board, Cheryl.
Okay.
The other two fellows were, and Joel. I questioned, you told me before you did this again that you were gonna have public comment period, research to find out if it's feasible to do it in-house, not do it in-house, do a study on it. That never happened. And now you're just moving forward, re-signing a contract with these people. Guess I wanna know why that didn't happen, and why doesn't it go out to competitive bid? Why do you continually do non-bid contracts with these people?
I think, bottom line is, the feeling is that with Mike and everybody, that they've done a pretty good job over the years. Steve France felt that as well. As far as bringing it in-house, there's no really, we thought you could possibly save $25,000 or $30,000 a year. And we talked about that, and my feeling was, and I think our feeling was, it's just not worth taking that responsibility on for the whole water system to save $25,000 or $30,000 a year in cost.
Do you have any minutes for these discussions that you had?
I think you watched a video of the workshop.
No, the workshop.
So that was the only time you talked about, was last Friday, even though a year and a half, 2 years ago, I asked about it, you said you'd have public work sessions to discuss doing that.
No.
You failed to do that then.
That's why we had the work session last week.
Yes, and you posted your work session, what, 27 hours or something before you had it, and didn't even say what it was for?
No, the workshop notice was posted on October 6th, and then it was
I didn't see
posted
it
again
until
on
20-something hours when it showed up.
10/22 with a time change.
And it showed up not on your regular webpage, it showed up under meetings.
And it was emailed out.
I
I
think,
don't do that. I mean, should be something that,
It was on the front page.
It was on the homepage.
Yep.
I think, we're in a position where they do run 40 or 50 other water systems in the state. They've got a good reputation. Steve LaFrance thinks it would be a step going backwards to bring it in-house, and that the trend is for most towns to have it done, so they don't have to depend on one person, especially in a town like ours where we have 3 public works employees. If we have a 4th, you lose one person, you're in trouble. They have a big staff, we can always depend on them to be here in an emergency or whatever. I don't like spending the money either, but I think it's the right way to go. It's professional people.
I don't think it's spending the money, Scott, that I'm objecting to. I think it's having the service in town, it's our service, and, you know, Pennachuck rolls into town, and an hour later, they're leaving town. That's all you're hiring them for. I watch them every day come in and leave. Not every day, but any day I'm sitting in my dooryard, I can watch them. And then maybe I'll go over and I'll sit there and watch how long they're there, and I follow them out of town, just so I know. I don't think that's been done by this board. I don't think you really know what they're doing for you. We don't need to pay them to paint fire hydrants. As far as their flushing operation, I've watched them flush hydrants. I don't think they're doing an adequate job. There's been other complaints that have come in about them. But at least do the study, you know, and see if it's, you know, you're getting the service. It's been done in-house. For how many years was it done in-house? Done fine. I understand the liability that you're talking
Things have changed a
about.
lot over the years.
Oh, I understand that. It ain't like I'm ignorant to this business,
The
Scott.
professional standards you have to meet, I think it would be foolish of us to try to take it back into house.
Well,
No more than we should the the sewer treatment plant. I think there's
no,
specialized operations.
I've never said anything about sewer plant. I agree.
don't
That's
see a lot of
more
difference.
technical.
Yeah,
We don't have a water plant. We're not Lincoln. We're not some other big town. We can take the water out of the ground, don't even treat it.
yeah, we do.
Gets,
Yeah, we do.
yeah, it gets, what it gets for corrosion of pipe is all gets. We're not making water.
And now,
You're talking about people's drinking water.
and now it
But
looks.
you're not doing nothing to it, Cheryl, to create it. It already comes
There's
out.
something being done to it.
You're adding a chemical so that your pipes don't rot.
And chlorine sometimes, and we,
See, you don't even know what your system is.
well, anyway, they're
It's just
involved.
frustrating that,
We're upgrading the system now as we go along, and, you know, that's why you have experts like them to be involved with this, because we're not experts. No longer are we.
I understand the three of you aren't experts in that, but we always had employees that were licensed to do that.
Yeah, now you need 2 employees, the certification's a lot different. You need 1 employee that was totally certified, you need someone else that was partially certified, it goes on and on and on, you need a truck. You know, I mean, you're not gonna, I mean, you lose, I don't know.
No,
I think we're
no,
making
I
a
think
mistake.
we've talked enough about it. I don't wanna, I just
We
disappointed.
don't always agree.
No, no, and that's what makes the world go round. I
Exactly,
mean,
yeah.
don't have to be enemies about it either, though.
No, I'm not mad at you, I
Um,
don't agree, but that's okay.
But it's just disappointing that, you know, I thought a year and a half ago, I was told that you'd have meetings and discuss it, and, you know, I just. that's
Especially in
all.
this labor market, I think it would just be a big mistake.
Still wouldn't hurt to go out for a competitive bid. There are people that want to do the work besides the one company, and the complacency of sitting with the same company for so long is not necessarily a prudent way to move. Doesn't mean don't stay with them, but getting a competitive bid is not a bad thing.
Yes, Patrick.
You mentioned about the workshop that was, when was it, October 6th or something?
It was posted
Last
October
Friday.
6th,
And
yeah.
when did you have it?
Pardon?
When did you have it? Friday.
October 29th, this past
Okay.
Friday.
Every notice I've seen about a workshop, the public can't speak or ask questions, so what would that be good for what Mike wants? What would it be good if he comes to the workshop if we can't speak or ask questions?
I believe that one mentioned that public comments could be made, correct?
Exactly.
I don't think it was on the posting.
Oh, it
You had
wasn't on the
said
posted,
You had
okay.
said you were having a public.
And I'm the first one to admit it, I'm not a computer person, but I did look, and I didn't see it till that Thursday, and I saw it under records.
Nope, it's right on the homepage, right where all the other stuff is, and it has a timestamp on it when it goes there.
For some reason, it ain't how it showed up for me, but,
And we emailed it out.
I don't get the towns, I'm not that worried about it, I guess.
I mean,
Well, I think at this time, we've made the decision that in the best interest of the town moving forward for this year, or for this contract.
and there are ways out of the contract.
No, that's what I was told
Down the
before.
road.
There are ways
There
out of
are.
the contract. If we don't think they're doing the right job. I mean, I'm frustrated too, I'm frustrated with the new water bill too. If I thought we could save 30 or 40,000, I'd be all over it. My water bill is 25,000 per quarter. I mean, so if I really thought we could save the money, it'd be worth it, I'd be all over it, I'm telling you right now.
Did you look at the new contract? Is there anything different than before, or?
It's actually a little bit it's less than the old one, because we realized that they had been doing we had been doing some of the stuff that was in the old
No,
contract.
they
It took in the
amended
And
that.
they amended it,
They
they
amended
changed
it
it, and they
back in
gave us
May,
a
Joe.
credit. And
So the new contract has the amendment that was
amendment, and
approved
it's
back in
actually less than
the
the
summer.
original one of the old one, so.
Yeah, because I, you know, a while ago there, I mentioned about, you know, making sure they flushed all the hydrants and made sure they did all the main gate valves every year. And I didn't know if that had been changed, or are they doing so many hydrants a year, or?
Gate valve inspections are 250 gates. 20% of gates annually, 50 gates, plus an additional 21 gates on an annual basis from the well field to town, 71 gates total annual.
And flushing hydrants,
Hydrants, dry check annually, hydrants, wet checks annually.
all of them, or just partial general?
It does not specify whether it's all, but, so I would suspect that it's all.
It's all.
Because if it was not, it would specify
It would
like the
give
gate
the
valves, a
Or-
certain number.
Is Dan-
So, Dan, can you confirm that the hydrants are all?
Yes, it's all the
Oh,
hydrants.
we got it working.
2 times a year, twice a year.
Okay.
What was that?
All the hydrants
Twice a year.
twice a year,
A wet check and a dry check.
wet
Oh.
check and a dry check.
Is that to be a specific number, or if you add a new hydrant, will that be included in this original price?
If we were to add a hydrant, would that be included in this price? Dan,
Yes.
thank you. Yes.
Yes, which we might be taking
Get
out.
that in the writing.
I gotta talk to John.
Okay. Can we update the language to include hydrants that
Maybe,
may be added in that section B? Is it 4B?
I don't know if I'd want.
3B?
I guess you could have 30 hydrants.
Yeah, I mean, we, you know, as hydrants have gotten added, yes, you can, but I mean, there's no issue with, if there's 1 hydrant, 2 hydrant, we're gonna do it. If a development, if, you know.
There is gonna be
I don't see
more
it
hydrants.
happening, if there was an addition of, you know, a large amount of hydrants over the course of the year, which I don't see that's gonna happen in a 3-year period, we're gonna take care of it. If you had, you know, 30, you know, say 30 new hydrants, which isn't gonna happen over a 3-year period, we would adjust the next contract. So, I mean, you can, but, you know, we never have, as, you know, if hydrants get added, we're not going to charge for, you know, for additional hydrants.
Okay. Thank you, Dan. Any other comments? No? Well then, at this time, I would accept a motion to sign the Pennachuck agreement for the operation and maintenance of the town of Woodstock water system.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Did you motion?
Aye. No, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, we have, thank you, Dan, for joining us this evening, we appreciate it.
I don't know if you have me on, I can't hear you.
Yeah, these speakers take a
Someday
minute.
we'll figure this out.
I know, right? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but I couldn't hear anything of what you
Oh,
said. Just so you know, other than Scott Rice, I can't hear anything in that room.
I got a
okay.
big mouth, I guess.
We just made a motion to accept and sign the contract, and I just thanked you for your time and for joining us this evening.
Thank you, and we look, you know, we're happy to be here. Been here for approximately 5 years, looking forward to another 3 years. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Have a nice evening.
You too, thank you.
Okay. Next up on the agenda. What's that?
I'm missing a set of minutes.
I got them over here.
Oh, okay. As long as you're not losing.
Yep. Next up, we have Michael Donahue with questions regarding Class 6 roads.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mike.
specifically, I want to talk about the second registered letter I received
Okay.
back on October 12th, I guess, saying that you're no longer going to plow Potato Hill Road. But it doesn't specify from where to where. Last time I was in and talked to you about it, You only plow a portion of it. Where do you plan on not plowing, right from Route 3?
Correct.
Okay. And my next question is, what brought this on, I guess?
The fact that we learned and we discovered that Potato Hill Road was a full Class 6 road, and that portion that was assumed to be Class 5 was not.
Okay.
And there's so much controversy right now, we're trying to keep it straight.
Right. So following rules.
And who gave you that opinion?
It was reviewed by the attorney, and the attorney went back through our records and DOT, and has found that it's a Class 6 road. And we have nothing showing us otherwise.
So you've got some documents, I've requested them, they haven't come yet, but either emails or something from the lawyer to you that I can have?
No emails from me to the town are privileged.
The state one, you just said the state, what do you have for them?
We just have the DOT map,
Laura just reviewed, we have just the DOT map. like,
the DOT
Okay.
map that shows it all as a Class 6.
And
I guess,
the
no, that's fine.
opinion, that lawyer opinion.
I guess my question to her would, where did you get your information?
I reviewed the town's file.
Okay, because we've been through this 25 years, 30 years ago. Did you look at the record of warrant for the town meeting of March 12th, 1895?
I looked at a letter from Tim Bates from 1992, which I
Yeah.
assume has become a public document.
Yeah.
And I know Tim, I used to work with Tim, his logic made sense to me. And as far as I know, nothing's changed since 1992, so I can.
Well, did you read his one from 93?
I didn't see one from 93.
No,
I might
yeah,
not
there's-
have it.
there's a file this thick that you don't have.
No, I had the whole file.
And, no, you don't.
Well, we
I
should-
did. I had the town's whole file.
Okay. In 1895, March 12th, for their warrant, there was a...
18 what, Mike?
1895.
Yep.
There was a warrant to see if the town would vote to discontinue Potato Hill Road, so-called, west of the N. Boynton House. Yeah, that's in his,
Yep.
and they voted on that.
Yep.
They voted to discontinue it. Potato Hill Road, it was a 33 to 28 vote. It doesn't say that in your letter, I know that. So that's from from west of the Boynton House. Do you know where the Boynton House
I
is?
had no idea
No.
what it was.
Does
All I
anybody?
did was concur with this
You,
letter.
Gil?
If it sounds like the one I lived in,
No? No?
but no, I never,
The
I've never
Boynton
been back
House,
to those files.
no, the Boynton House is what is known as Tufts right now, today.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there was a house prior to Tufts tearing it down. That was Boynton's house,
Okay.
okay, Nat Boynton. And in the vote in 1895, in that warrant article, when they voted, they were only discontinue it west of his house. Okay, so from Route 3 to west of his house is town road, okay? Then from that point, 1,700 feet, whatever it is, a mile and whatever, is what all that you've looked at, that's all that's about. That's got nothing to do with down there. That wasn't what that discussion was all about,
Okay.
okay? So you guys just assume because they said, they'd be like saying 112 is a Class 6 road. Oh, where? Okay? And we proved all this 25 years ago, you know, that from Route 3 to west of what was Nat Boynton's house is town road. You guys paved it since I've been there 30 years. You've plowed it every year, you've maintained it in the summer. Last year, you even put a driveway into one of the residents there. 3 years ago, I think it was, you paid me to upgrade the dirt portion of it to Eileen's house, which is 249 feet. All I'm saying is, like I said the first time I was here, I think it's yours up to her house. You've been maintaining it for 30 years.
I can't hear the questions that people are asking.
5-year clause.
No one's asking any questions, Sharon, right now. It's just a discussion. It's the best we can do. We're recording it, so you'll be able to listen to the recording later.
So we can't hear the participants today?
The best, we're working with the best equipment we got right now. Thanks.
Okay, I'll catch you on YouTube then.
Yep.
So, and like I said the first time I was here, you got 249 feet plus or minus. And I went to the far end of her driveway. That I believe that you've been maintaining for 30 years. Summer, winter, and I got documents here that the town voted in 1895 to discontinue it to that point. Like I told you, I don't want to talk about from that point up. I'm happy the way it is. And we never came to it, those are just opinions back when, 20 years ago, when it was 92. It's just their opinion, my lawyer, you don't have copies of my lawyer's stuff, which is a different opinion. And we decided back then, we don't want to talk about what's up there. We were all happy at that point. Okay, but from Route 3 up to Eileen's is town. My opinion is it's town.
There's also a legal argument, a legal precedence that if the town maintains a road, the town is accepted maintaining the road. That's not too hard to prove.
5 years.
Your
Doesn't
lawyer
ever
should
talk
be
to
able
you
to
about
do
that
that.
outside of a public meeting.
I bet you will.
Very good.
I understand that probably, you know, her opinion, I know what she's reading, I've got the same stuff. I've read it. And it just says Potato Hill, blanketed, just Potato Hill. But I got the documents here, and you can get them now, I told you where they are. That tell them where it started.
And you said there was a 1993 letter from Tim Bates?
Yeah,
Do you have a copy of that by chance?
not with me.
Okay. Do you mind sending it to Judy so she can send it to me?
I've been advised not to share anything at this point,
Okay,
more than I, you know,
that's fine.
but, you know, I got a stamp surveyed map that shows Boynton's house, the road, you know, the whole thing. I understand what you're saying. No, I'm not looking for you to go past that 249 foot, never have. Don't want you up there, that's that. But from Route 3 to Eileen's house, I feel it's town road. I've got the documents where the town voted on discontinuing it at 249 feet or east of, or west of Boynton's house. And that's what you've always maintained too, that point. For me, I don't care, how many letters did you send out on this?
The abutters, right? Or the folks that reside on, as far as it
Yeah.
regard to Potato Hill Road, those that were affected by it.
So 10 people.
Well, we need to look at it, obviously.
Yeah, there's 10 properties that are being affected.
Yeah.
Me, I don't, it's just the principle of
Well,
it.
no,
And-
it's obviously something that brought it to your attention and brought Class 6 roads to your attention to ask us about it. And then when we had a nice conversation about it, and you said you had documents, and we kind of said, well, can you show us, because we're obviously
Yeah.
missing this piece.
And I said I would.
And we didn't.
No, that's right, that was, what,
And that's-
2 meetings ago.
We couldn't
And-
hold off sending those letters any longer.
No, I understand, that's
People
fine,
have to prepare.
that's fine. I'm not,
Well, I mean, let's look at.
but you gotta realize, and I told you, I was,
Now,
right, and I told you, I was in the middle of moving my office, which I was.
Okay.
I've
Fair
been
enough.
looking, couldn't find it. What happened, and I don't need to, my dad
Yeah.
passed away, he had all the stuff, I had to go into his archive to get it, and I really got my hands on it yesterday.
Okay.
I knew what it was there, I just
Okay.
hadn't got it.
Yep,
And finally got my hands on it yesterday.
very good.
Well,
Well,
let's,
now that we've got some
look
more
at it.
information, we can send another letter out, but we had to give people a
No, I
warning just in
understand
case
that.
snow was coming,
I
right?
think
All I did
let's-
was ask you, what was the change
no,
of
let's
that?
let's look at
And
it again.
Yep,
and
we're gonna
let's
look at
through
it even more now that we have a little more
Because
information,
why-
and we
why do what's right?
can redact the letter.
Yeah, but
Get it
you're,
back.
it's affecting 10 homes.
Right.
Me, I gotta plow whatever it is, for me to go another
Sure.
250 feet, what do I
I'll
care?
check the file again, I
But
didn't see it.
I'm not gonna be, hopefully I'm gonna disappear somewhere and not be here during plowing season.
Sure,
So,
sure.
Don't we all?
No, and we want to do what's right. If they should be getting that service, they should be getting that
Right.
service.
We're not
Absolutely.
looking to not do it.
But I think there's just so much controversy on Class 6 road. You know it is, all
Right.
over, and we're just trying to keep it straight. That's all we're doing.
Well, that's why I was asking how it came about, because all of a sudden.
That's why.
You-
Like that.
I got that letter saying that don't do any repairs on Class 6 roads, I'll talk to you guys. I mean, that started it, I guess.
Because you gotta
That's why I
come-
came in the first time.
Everybody
gotta
gets a
come-
class 6 letter.
and we're
I got
getting-
the class
and we're
6.
Yeah, I know, but you look, I mean, a couple of years ago, I came in before we did it, my neighbor was building, came in, got permission, which, from that point up, there's still, we never settled it back 25 years ago. Bates had an opinion, our lawyer had an opinion, the 3 selectmen at the time, finally, we all got together and said, look, we're arguing over nothing.
Right.
I own the land, and it was actually in 1897, there was a petition with the town for a private highway.
So lay it back out.
Right.
Which they did.
To put it back to a private highway. But the town did not own land up there until 1950s. They took it by eminent domain, not by eminent domain, by taxes. Okay? So then the argument starts, well, it was a private highway, and it wasn't meant for the town to get there. And our attorney's opinion was, now, it's not for the public, it's for municipal officials. Which I don't care, hasn't been a problem, don't care. But then it comes into what is a private highway, I'm sure she knows.
There's a warrant
It gets real sticky. I mean, we can go back to that, like I said,
I think Mike might have.
We're just,
said it.
Mike.
I don't want to though, there's no reason to, we're
We've got
talking
people coming at us
250
from
feet.
all directions,
Yeah.
on all kinds of roads like
Yeah.
this, we're just trying to be consistent.
Yeah.
And so, but I think if we can prove that that's what it is, that's what it is, and we're gonna do
We'll
it.
go back to it.
Yeah, it's only that 250, I don't want to talk about what's beyond that, I mean, that's,
I think you're very happy up on the hill.
yeah.
Exactly.
And, I mean, we proved it 25 years ago, it's gonna be a long battle, expensive for everybody, but if we need to do that, that's what we need to do, I guess, but, things have been working good until
We'll
now.
look back at it and,
Yeah, if you have
Well, we
additional
address it.
information, I'll be happy to look at it.
Well, this is, I think, what you need,
Okay.
I gave you the dates, and, this all came from, towns,
Okay.
if you can find somebody that can read it.
Yeah.
It's all English writing, and,
I don't.
no, it is, it's all English writing, and it's tough, and that's how they did it, and, but that was 126 years ago.
Oh, geez. I can't believe we still have it.
Well, like I said, we did extend, 25 years ago, we spent back then, I mean, $30-something thousand on this deal. So, yeah, it's,
we'll look
kinda
into
dear
it
to me.
and hopefully we'll,
Take the file with me again.
yep,
Well,
we'll
it's
circle back.
another Class 6 road question. I have never been able to find anything that proves that the town did a warrant article and voted for Cox Farm Road to be shifted from a Class 5 to a Class 6,
It's way-
nor anything about any signatures. Do I need to bring in an attorney to request proof of that? Because all my documentation shows that's a Class 5 road.
Something Laura will have to look at.
I don't know anything about Cox Farm Road.
No, yes, she'll have to look at it, we
We'll
can't,
have
I
to
can't
review
say
it.
anything
Proof
about it.
of what?
Where the Cox Farm is.
Cox Farm is a class 5 versus a class 6. Because there's, Robert cannot find documentation that shows that it's a class 6.
Right, it
Is
was
that-
handed off by the state to the town as a Class 5 road. It's part of the, extension that was created as a result of the land taken by eminent domain for the highway. That's a standard thing everybody knows about, every town in the entire state. So,
Sounds like Laura's got another project. Sure.
We'll
More
look
needs
into
this
it.
month.
We'll look into it.
Are we speaking on this, or do I have to wait till later?
No,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Okay. I recall before Scott or Cheryl were on the board, I seem to recall being here at all, pretty much a good portion of the work sessions every year when they discussed which roads, that highway map you had to do every year.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't recall ever hearing Potato Hill, being listed on that as class, because they have to pick up all the, you had to post all the Class 6 roads on that, correct?
That's where. it
We
is.
had to draw them in and send it back.
Right.
As
I
part of
don't ever
highway block grant.
recall. Now, I realize I'm old and I've had a lot of issues this year, and, I may be forgetful, but I'm like an Alzheimer's patient. I remember 50 years ago, I just don't remember today. All right, but, I don't ever recall Potato Hill being on there. And again, I'm gonna say this, I've said this before, if you can bend over backwards for these knuckleheads from out of town over here on this Class 5 road, you can do something for people that have been here forever and a day. That's just my
We're gonna
opinion.
look into it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I think we just gotta find out the facts.
Yep.
I don't remember specifics on that map right now.
I just seem to remember.
We come in, spend an hour on it, look at it, go, is there anything new to add? And if there was,
It's
like,
not by some DOT site.
just Mountainside / Johnson Road, yeah, we know it ends up here. I had that discussion today with someone else.
I don't think it's anything.
But I don't remember off the top of my head about Potato Hill Road.
Unfortunately, the person who remembers all that crap is no longer with
It's
us.
gone, yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Fadden would tell you everything about the history of every road in this town if he was
Sure
still
I
around.
could.
Now we have to pay however many $100 an hour to have a lawyer tell us.
Well, that and who drove on the road at what time of day, and he had it all.
Well, not even going back that far though, Gil, I mean, last year, like I said, you put a driveway in off from Potato Hill Road to one of the residents there for him. You put a culvert in the ditch and a driveway off. You've plowed it every year. You hired me a couple of years ago
No
to
idea.
put gravel on the road. You plowed it every year for 30 years I've been there. You sweep it every year. Washes out, you maintain it. It isn't like it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Right.
You've been treating it like it's a town road since I've been there 30 years.
But to add to that, for 39 years, you collected block grant money on Cox Farm Road and didn't do anything until I forced that issue with you.
That was before my watch, but
You were there, you signed off, I got all the paperwork, you were part of it.
well, the last 17, not
Yeah.
39.
Well, right, but for 39 years, block grant money was collected, but I was told by all the selectmen, you being one of them, that that was class 6, and you refused to do anything until I brought lawyers in and proved it.
Well, we're
We're gonna do it
look back at
again.
investigate it again.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, you got caught red-handed on that.
Any other questions, any other comments? Mike, do you have anything additional?
No, I assume she's gonna work on it soon,
Yeah,
or,
we'll have another meeting.
you know, I understand what
And then
she's
I'll send
reading,
another.
because sorry, but I just gave you more information of where it starts and what they voted on,
Yep.
and I can understand she's reading something that just blanket, it says Potato Hill Road.
Well, I recall, she works for the town.
Oh, no, I get it, Rob.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, we have a application for Cascade Park for a wedding for a Liza Chang. For June 4th of 2022, you need to abstain.
I'll make a motion to accept that as long as the date's open.
Okay, I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, very good. Next up would be any additional public participation on the items discussed this evening. Yes, Bill?
Yes, I'd like to speak to Class 6 roads from a different angle.
Okay.
And that is, there's a focus of this town now, and we all know there is a focus. But that focus will shift as the focus has shifted in the short time that I have been here. The character of the town has. These roads were set up, and then in some cases, they were voted out. But I believe the town should look at those for future generations as an asset. You know, where they begin, and where they end, and the circumstances surrounding them. Now, Johnson Farm Road, it's a survey plan 8176 of the Registry of Deeds that goes from Route 112 all the way up to the National Forest Farm. And that is labeled as Johnson Road, not Mountainside Road on that survey. All the curvatures in the road are there, the distances are there. When it comes to the termination at the National Forest, this survey does. Now, what piqued my interest in this was, before we left for a few years, there was a gate there. And I believe the gate either said National Forest or no trespassing, and I'm not sure which it was. But either one, it's not there now. It's gone. And also on this survey, as I mentioned the last time, once you got to National Forest, note, the National Forest Memorandum of Survey accepts a 3-rod wide road, right-of-way for Johnson Road, passing through the federal government's parcel. In 1914 was when they established the National Forest. And I received an email today in regard to the exceptions list, which is on this survey. It was somewhat common for the United States to accept existing town roads from the condemnation proceedings. So that's a 3-rod road, which is a wide road. And it's quite interesting, I've spent time up there now knowing that that gate is down and that it is a town it is a right-of-way, it is not private property. And all 4 corners of the entry to National Forest, and probably another 800 feet until you exit, are clearly marked. All of them have stones with red paint on them. One has a monument, Forest Service monument, and they are clearly there. And it says for a road to pass through. And I understand Gil saying there's only one person that owns it. That's today. There are 118 acres up there. I think it would be in the town's best interest to not speculate that, well, it just comes to an end. I've blocked it. And it doesn't come to an end. It keeps going. These are assets. They may not be valuable to you right now, but they might save some money, some time, and frustration in the future. There is a person at Forest Services that's in charge of all the Forest Service gates from the Pemigewasset station. And he will be getting back to me on this. I only contacted him a week ago and I was amazed he got back that quickly. But he's going to dig further in. He has federal surveys that he is going to send to me. And I'm only asking that you own something, you have something, respect it, hold it for the future. And Gil, you said that you had information on the road?
Just from that map we go over every year, and since I've been here, as to how it goes and how it's been since we've been doing this highway block grant thing, I don't have any history before any of that, and it does seem to go up and then kind of angle off and end up in the National Forest property. Dead ends.
No, it says, in these notes, it says for the Johnson Road to pass through. And this gets into your court.
It sounds like we've got something else for Laura to do.
I wouldn't
Or
say so
surveyor.
yet. I wouldn't say so yet. Let me get this, well,
Well, if you want to do, you know what, you'll save us a ton of money if you do some more of the research and bring it in, come up with short.
let me get back to Gil's though. It's said that this exception, when they established a national forest, and I believe 3 rods is what, 50 feet?
Yeah.
50 feet wide.
One rod is 5.5 yards.
Yards.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got 6, that's 33 yards.
It'll be interesting to hear what the guy that's in charge of gates says.
Right.
So this is what he started to
He
say.
started to, but he hasn't finished that yet.
But it passes through. There are monuments where the gate was, and the stanchion still is, Gil. And 50 feet to the east of that are the red stones. And then if you follow it up to where you leave National Forest, there are stones next to the stream on the left, and there is a monument on the right, as well as one of those dominant bright orange plastic stakes. And the road continues after that. And my question to you is, and I guess number one, why is it not an interest? And again, that road is impressive.
It's, what you're just telling me is news to me. All I can go by is what I used to do on the highway block grant map. So, and the re-boundaries, if you will, the new boundaries that all have only been done in the last 4 years that I've seen. I don't hike up through there anymore. I haven't since I was hunting up there as a kid. So I haven't been up there for years, so I don't remember seeing anything like that, and if it was, at the time, it was none of my business, so I laid away from it.
Well, on this 1995 survey, it mentions the red painted stones. So these markers are not new. These are not new.
Well, the ones down next to the old railroad grade are. They were just done
That,
maybe 4 years, maybe 3, in the spring of the year, as I remember correctly.
these are all above the railroad grade.
Okay, I wouldn't have seen them. I don't, like I said, I don't hike up them there.
And the survey does spell out all of Johnson Road, going from Route 112 up to the forest line. And, I'm
We'll review
speaking
it
to
more.
it as an asset that the town has.
Take a field trip.
We should just take a field.
Right. Not you? You're tapping out on that?
Not a field trip out there.
Laura and I were like,
Not tonight,
really?
not tonight.
I would be happy to walk
Thank
around.
you.
It's worth a trip.
Review it and.
Oh, it just keeps going?
It's 15 minutes through the woods from my house. I'm happy to meet you there and show you what
Let's
it's
do
like.
it.
Okay. We'll work on scheduling something.
Oh, I always thought that was.
Bring your boots, Laura.
We'll take pictures,
I
Laura.
need another water.
Very good. All right.
I have
Thank
pictures
you.
of the monuments if you're interested.
Okay.
I'd rather see the whole thing.
Yep. Excellent. All right. Anything else under public participation?
Can I,
And this is just real quick.
Patrick and then Mike.
Okay, if you're going to, you said the rules, you would change the rules for the work session for the roads. You gotta be consistent. The public can speak, the public shouldn't have to go onto the website, if they're not in the email or, you know, everything else to find out what the rules are for the day. You know, be consistent.
Okay. We'll consider that. Thank you.
I got a question on a past meeting, can I ask it?
Yep.
A work session that you had with the town of Lincoln about the or the transfer station road. You said, Gil, that you weren't gonna participate in paying for that, you felt that we weren't obligated. Now they're doing the work, are we participating in that or not?
I didn't say we weren't gonna participate in it.
Oh, you didn't-
I
you
wanted
felt
to
that
brought it
we
up for
weren't, right.
discussion.
Yeah,
It came out of the capital reserve that we already had.
but,
So,
As
yes,
part
we
of
are,
this
we are
facility.
participating in
Yes.
it.
so we had to participate money-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
As
I
part
was
of
just wondering,
the
because you
facility.
had thought that
I
the
questioned it.
contract said we weren't obligated.
Then we
It
thought,
wasn't
really?
the contract, it was, when I first came on board in '04, they sent us back a check. The only thing I thought at the time we were responsible would have been for when I said facility, I'm thinking the building.
Right.
The
Yeah.
cans and whatever. And then when they said the paving, I thought, well, what's up with that? So that's when I questioned it. And
No, I just
that's
gotta
what's
see-
become of
see
it.
that-
We already
It's
had
a part
it.
And really, we think I thought it was part of the facility, it's part of the operation.
It is.
No, I was just wondering where it's still, I see they're doing the work now, and never saw any
They should have
follow-up
just
on it, so I
closed,
just,
they should have just closed the other day instead of trying to keep open when I tried to get in there. What a mess. Not your mess, but it was a mess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had actually put a request in to ask a question next meeting, but since Class 6 is on this meeting, and it refers to that, the tunnels going up Cox Farm Road no longer have guardrails.
Okay.
The guardrails were initially designed both for the safety of people, but the safety of the tunnels as well. And you know, we have dump trucks going in and out of there all the time, off Rex's land and stuff. Large trucks, and if one slid and hit the tunnel, it could do some serious damage to the tunnel too. I'm wondering, how was that changed? Because they haven't been there
We
for a
saw
long
your
time.
email and we're looking into it. We can't
Yeah.
address it tonight, but we'll find out what's going on with those guardrails
Yeah, 'cause
and get back to you.
It's
Yeah.
equally important to the structure of the highway.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
bring it back for next meeting.
Okay, thanks.
So,
Has that bottom section, that Class 5 section of Cox Farm been paved yet?
No,
No?
no, I saw GMI there though the other day
I
when
think
I
it's
drove by.
supposed to be.
It's about to be.
it's been prepped for more than a week.
I think it's
Okay,
about to
that's
be
when I-
set.
yeah.
Have you signed a
Okay.
contract?
Probably when they
with them?
get finished with
The dump.
the dump. I didn't want to say.
Solid waste facility. The
Solid
contractor
waste-
site
the solid waste
was
facility.
in a selectmen's meeting.
I don't know if it was a selectmen's meeting.
I bet,
It was
I
really
bet they'll go there right
Yeah.
next.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it was in that, selectmen's meeting.
Yes,
So is there have you signed a contract on that, or
yes.
Yes,
you have?
Yes.
Did it go out to competitive bid?
It did-
yeah.
Didn't have to.
Why not? It's under
Because it was-
$2,000?
No,
No, $2,000 isn't the threshold for
What's
that.
the,
It's
25,000.
25,000.
2,000 is interdepartment.
It's
I'm
interdepartment
sorry?
stuff.
$2,000 would be, is an interdepartment type thing. The fire department, the police department, if you're gonna spend over
Requires you
that,
guys to sign off.
you come to us. But as far as the town contract, it's $25,000.
okay.
but why don't you go out to bid anyways, just for good purposes? I mean, to get the best deal for the taxpayer.
Well, because it's not always the best job that gets done, and I know what you're saying.
I understand
We
that,
have
yeah.
we have a great relationship with GMI.
Why, they send you
They give us
turkey
breaks
at
and-
Thanksgiving or something? What's the,
No turkeys.
I mean, I don't understand,
Their turkeys are not good.
there's plenty of competent pavers in the area. Why not at least get prices? Doesn't mean you use the lowest price. I guess I don't understand why you don't get competitive bids on things. You should be looking out for the tax dollars.
Well, I guess we were in the past, and then we just, like I said, GMI has always been good to us, they do a good job, and we just kind of roll with it. But, yeah, we can,
If you don't give the other person a chance even to bid, how do you know they're not equally as good? Or
well,
the
we
price is
go on
only-
reputation a
When
lot,
you,
too.
when you, I'm a contractor, Gil, when somebody, I was a contractor, like, somebody keeps giving you work, you have a tendency not to be as competitive as you normally would be.
The contractor.
And that isn't the best thing for the taxpayers.
One more question on the Potato Hill Road. If you were to discontinue the work that you had been doing, how are you, your letter of notification is now telling them that they now have no access to police, ambulance, and fire service, and that's just a random if they want to show up kind of thing? Is that what we're saying? They no longer patrol it? Because,
We're no longer maintaining it.
well, when you're,
Plowing it.
if it's
No, I
Class 6
understand what you're
road,
saying, it's the same,
But you're
it's
not
the same thing that
guaranteeing
you
it.
signed, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Which I signed it believing I was being told the truth.
You were.
I don't believe now that I was told the truth, and I've got documentation to prove
Right,
that.
we're gonna look into that.
And we're gonna look into
We've
that.
talked, right,
Yes.
we've talked about that.
But,
So,
and as a result,
when we iron this Potato Hill Road out, if the 1895 warrant says that it's class 5 or whatever it is, that we will adjust the letters, and if it turns out to be a class 6, they'll sign the same thing you signed.
Has anybody else asked you about that? I didn't talk to my neighbors, I'm not trying to get them to,
Nope.
they can do whatever they want, I don't care.
Nope, none of them asked any questions regarding the letter at this point in time.
I saw Donnie yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he just kind of shrugged. We talked about it, he got the letter, and you know Donnie.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll just do what he always did before, but, yeah.
just seems that it would open up liability.
No, I didn't talk to anybody, I'm a big boy, I do it on my own, I don't, and I am concerned for them, they're losing something, not me really, but Eileen especially. But I think the town truly owns that, and I think we had proved that 25 years ago.
Yeah, I wasn't not aware of this 1895.
If you want to
Contract.
save you, probably all your records are archived somewhere from the 1800s. Maybe you got them here, I don't know.
I think they're all in the file.
If you'd like to make a
That's
copy of
right.
this
Is that
right
in the
here,
file?
I think so, but I
Okay.
think take
Why
a
don't we just
copy,
make
not
it
be
part-
there ain't much, and like I said, it's hard to read. It's English.
And what else didn't you have?
Old English.
There's an 1897 too.
And a 1993.
1993
It's
letter
not hard
from
to
Tim.
keep doing what we've always been doing,
I don't know.
you know?
Yeah.
So if we've been,
Yeah,
But if it is a class 6 road, you're not legally permitted to spend money on it, so.
It's just
We
from
need
here,
Then
Right.
simply
We need to
do
figure
a
it out.
warrant article and
This
vote
one
it and
here.
get it done.
the vote, everything else in there is nothing. This is
Any
gonna
other
be a
comments,
one,
questions?
this
Yes,
isn't from a
Bill?
warrant act, this was from,
Sorry.
some research we had done
We're good.
from this here that explains the rest of the road when they came back in.
Okay.
And had a
And
petition.
what about that 1990, whatever?
I don't have that with me.
Okay, so I don't think, I
You
gave
should
her.
have it, my copy, well, she doesn't,
Well,
but
you can
it
look
went to
through
the
again.
town, went to CC to me,
I had one, I didn't have that. Let me go do this.
and there's, I don't know, I counted 20-something of them today, so I don't know where the towns are, but
I didn't see it in the file, but I will look again.
Bill, you had one last thing?
Yes. The non-public sessions and just seeing them frequently, not knowing that you were going to be here this evening, I went and copied the RSA. And my question was going to be, are the minutes to those available?
They're sealed.
You seal all your non-public session minutes?
All the recent ones that are personnel related, yes,
If it's personnel related, we feel.
correct.
personnel related is what?
Personnel related is sealed,
Oh, okay.
yep.
But you've had non-public sessions for other.
And deeding, when we deed, we seal.
When you tax deed?
Tax deed, yep, sorry.
And when we have sessions
Laura.
with her, we seal.
When we have sessions with a lawyer, our attorneys.
The tax deeding ones, I don't know that there's any reason for them to be sealed,
Thank you.
unless there's something in there about why people aren't paying their taxes.
Yes,
Okay.
and those are the conversations
Okay.
we've had.
Then those are properly sealed.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about the ones for liens going on? Those, is
That's-
that?
That's part of that deeding.
That's
and
part of the
people
deeding.
Paying things off,
If we're working on payment plans and things like that, they're sealed.
right,
We're just respecting people's privacy.
right.
So when liens are placed, those are sealed?
Well, the liens are public records. Those are at the registry. What is sealed, what I'm hearing, is our minutes of conversations with taxpayers who are explaining their personal circumstances as to why they can't pay their taxes or why they need to pay their plan.
And there's a few people who worked out payment plans and
you
things like that.
mean more so if they come in with their hardship
Right.
to
Yeah.
talk about.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But the action of that wouldn't be sealed. Say if you took a piece from me, you wouldn't seal those minutes. That'd be,
You shouldn't.
No, but you'd see it
but
in
if
the
I came
deeds
in
or
and pleaded to you,
The deeds are public
You know,
records.
Right,
Yeah,
you'd see it in the deed anyway, the public
but
record.
he's absolutely right. If you're having that conversation in
it
a
should
meeting,
be in the
and you're
minutes.
talking about deeding property, and it's just the fact that they haven't paid their taxes and you're deeding them, those should be,
That, so you could partially seal minutes?
there's no reason for that to be a non-public session at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be all public, except for if I come in here and talk to you and say, you know, in this economy, I can't find a job, I can't pay my,
Exactly.
you should
Right.
seal that.
And that's what
Yeah.
most of our
Right,
conversation
but anything
was.
that's
But there
happened,
is a slight piece of, there was a small piece of property that, yeah,
There is a small piece that we
that,
did.
down on Lilac Street that we don't know who the people are.
has that gone to deed?
Believe it did, finally, yes.
The town owns that now then, or,
We're in the process of deeding, with Melissa this past,
What is this?
so that's something that's gonna go out for sale?
I don't know what it's
If
a,
they're taking it from an unknown owner, trust me when I tell you, you don't wanna buy it.
Well, that's not an unknown known owner,
that
but
sliver,
I know, you're talking down in the hole, that's Lilac Lane,
yeah.
Mhm.
Lilac Street.
down by the church.
Mhm.
Down Lilac
Yeah, you know who the
Street. There's
owners
like a
are, I
little-
mean, that's not an unknown
It's not a
property.
state person. I can't recall exactly the people, but I know we have not been able to reach them.
Yeah,
So, but we will look into that, the deeding and splitting the minutes.
And also, along those lines, that it is determined that the divulgence of information likely would affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the body itself. Does that mean if a select person, then that shouldn't be sealed?
Right.
Thank you.
How's the town covering the deficit occurring due to lack of tax payment? Are you just taxing us more? Because you could be doing what the town has done in the past by
That's
doing
not
a
on
tax
here.
auction.
One, that's not part of our agenda for tonight, but we can certainly jot that down and come back. If you want to email us that question, we can research what you're asking for.
We haven't had any cash flow issues to speak of.
Well, if you're not getting paid a certain amount of taxes,
It's-
But if they're taking property by tax deed, the taxes haven't been paid for 2 years.
These taxes are pretty minor in the scope of things. I mean, in the big picture of the money we collect, it's a very minor amount that goes that far. I mean, like, under $20,000 or $30,000, you know, I mean, it's pretty small. Not that it's not significant, it is significant, but it's not enough to put the town in a position where we're cash flow.
you might wanna.
it's just in years gone by, there was a town tax auction, so the tax,
Well, those are out of the deal now. I think those-
So in the 80s, they changed the way that you take and sell tax deeded property, so they
This is a
don't.
question that has been asked.
Yeah, so before, I don't even know when the statute was changed, it was before I started practicing, they would sell the lien on the property. They don't do that anymore. They take the tax lien, it gets recorded, and 2 years later, you can take the property by tax deed. Thereafter, it can be sold. Some towns do that at a big auction, some towns do that by sealed bid, some towns do that through other methods.
this town used to just say, pay the tax,
You
you
can't
fill
do
out
the
the paperwork, and
Yeah.
you got the lien on it.
You can't do that anymore.
And then people had the opportunity to pay it back.
Yeah, can't do that anymore.
I was wiped to the Supreme Court.
A lot of that happened back in the Depression when people were defaulting on their stuff and people would just come in and, like you just said, write a check for the tax.
I bought my first ones when I was 15,
Yeah.
right down at the town.
I think the
office.
goal is, you know, there aren't a lot of them, the goal is I think, for us to try to work it out with them if we can, you know, within reason. You know, they gotta pay interest and things like that.
Well, it's not trying to take it from anybody, it's simply an
No,
investment.
what
at
is
that
it,
point.
is when it goes to lien, whether we put it out to sale or not, you're trying to work it out so you don't.
But we don't sell the liens anymore, that's not the
Right,
process.
right.
My question is though, with the numerous non-public sessions, that there are portions of that should be made available within 72 hours.
If they're not sealed, they should absolutely be made available within 72 hours. And there's a new provision in the law, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, that requires you to keep a list of all your sealed non-public sessions and there's always been a requirement that you periodically review them to see if they can be unsealed.
Okay.
What made Lilac Lane property to the top of the list compared to some of the others that have gone on for years not being paid?
I don't have it in front of me. I will speak to it next meeting.
Yeah, just curious
Yeah.
why that.
Because I think it's
Let's
just
do
a
that.
useless piece of property, pretty, to most, that you couldn't build on or anything, it was just a much, I think, why not get rid of it, you know what I mean?
Well, there's college grades on it.
Yeah, but you don't own it at this point, right? Town doesn't own it.
No,
No,
Right,
not
so
right now.
you're taking it because of lack of payment,
yeah.
but you got, what's the place in front of your place down there, Bob? Pine?
And no one's been interested in trying to work it out or whatever, so.
That's
Well,
not-
we'll
we
walk-
don't know
we'll
that.
con- yeah,
We're-
walk-
we don't
I
know.
don't need a picture.
We don't know.
We don't know who owns it. We can't find anybody to notify.
Where's your copy?
At the door?
Yeah.
And it needs so much maintenance, and it's a mess, we don't
Oh,
want it.
I understand that. That's what I'm saying, what makes one,
That one, the
you know,
association dues.
but you can't, you can't ignore one because it ain't a good investment for you compared to another one either, though. You
Well,
gotta,
association
it's right
dues
across the
have a lot to do
board,
with that,
you know,
too.
everybody is treated fairly.
I need to get.
I believe if you go to the registry of deeds a couple of weeks ago, one of those sold for,
That's a different piece, though.
yes, but it was $160-some thousand, and I watched this one in disrepair. And it's not a matter of, I think it's short-sighted for three people to speak on the part of the town. I agree with Rob. If that was taken, then you have the auctions.
Which property is this?
We,
Are you
we'll
Any
look up the
property.
door,
We're at
condo, the
There's
condos
really
across
not much
from
out
the
there.
back. We will get answers and come back next week,
We'll
when we
look
can
at
speak
that
to
one.
it 100% and answer what you're
Next
looking
meeting,
for.
we'll get
Next
100%
meeting
answers for you.
on those
So we don't have to
You
request to
don't
be
have
on the
to.
agenda then? It's-
No,
I
we just
made
put
it
it
up.
on.
I just put it on, okay?
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
and just to be certain, the next year, probably in February, when the liens come up, those will not be sealed. Is that right?
Unless we're working on a payment plan or something else with them.
Or a member of the board?
Portions that can be discussed publicly will be revealed publicly. Those that
Absolutely.
cannot will
Absolutely.
be
72
sealed.
hours.
Yep.
Thank you.
I think the bottom line, if they don't need to be non-public, we'll just have it during the meeting.
Yeah,
To me, that would be the easiest way.
that would be the solution, yep. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you. On that note, I would entertain a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91-A:3, Section 2I, which is consideration of legal advice.
That's why I did that, because it was on the agenda.
No, I think it was a
Fair
good,
enough, fair enough.
that was a good point,
Fair
though.
enough.
It tightens it up a little
All
bit.
right, so you second?
I'll say yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out tonight
Thank you.
and
Have a
sharing
good
your insights.
We need to spend some money on these things.
I know.